Most of us, when we think of school, we think of subjects. Math, science, literature, phys ed. If it's a Jewish school, you might add Torah or Tefillah. Each of these subjects has its own content, stuff that we need to learn, numbers, letters, information, much of which we memorize and after a while forget. Because once we graduate, we realize that the world just isn't divided up this way into subjects. Jobs, especially 21st century jobs, require us to think integratively, across disciplines. Much of the stuff we learned in all those subjects simply doesn't seem relevant. Today, we need to be critical thinkers, creative thinkers. But does that mean that these subjects have no value for future learning? Should we just get rid of them and maybe have a critical thinking class or a creative thinking class? Perhaps not so fast. The content of these subjects may not be as relevant as it once was, but each of the subjects actually represents a methodology, a way of thinking, a lens through which to view the world. We call this thinking in the disciplines. And while we strongly advocate an interdisciplinary, integrated curriculum, we also use the subjects as opportunities to train our students how to think in diverse ways. To think like scientists, to think like artists, like mathematicians, like Talmudists, like writers. The education expert Arthur Costa writes that human beings are born with a capacity and inclination to think. Nobody has to teach us how to think, just as no one teaches us how to move or walk. Moving with precision and style, however, takes much time and coaching. A superb ballerina, Tai Chi master, or gymnast needs years of practice, concentration, reflection, and guidance to perform intricate maneuvers on command with seemingly effortless agility. The same is true when it comes to thinking. Learning how to think well, with precision and style, in different ways and with different lenses, is critical. And this is what we at the Toronto Heschel School call thinking in the disciplines. Let's take mathematics as just one example. What does it mean to think in the discipline of math? In other words, what does it mean to think like a mathematician? And how do we teach children to do that well? A famous mathematician once said, "All math is either counting or grouping." It sounds a bit simple, but the simplicity of the statement says a lot about what it means to think like a mathematician. Math is the art of expressing reality in the simplest, most elegant, most efficient terms. Thinking mathematically means thinking about how to solve problems in an efficient, elegant way. To teach children how to do this, you must approach all math problems logically, efficiently, and in a way that takes advantage of how numbers actually work. A simple example comes from our Grade 1 curriculum. Think about this. What is the sum of all the numbers from 1 to 9? Most of us, if asked this question, will proceed rather mechanically by adding 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 4 is 10, and so on. But wait, what if we looked at the pairs that add up to 10? 1 plus 9, 2 plus 8, 3 plus 7, 4 plus 6. That gives us 40, plus the remaining 5, 45. Better, faster, more efficient. That's thinking like a mathematician. Math is not about applying formulas. We all learned that to multiply a large number like 3,998 times 4, you should carefully line up all the digits, one under the other, and then proceed to multiply each digit, carefully carrying over numbers and writing them on top of the next. But what does all this carrying, notating, and crossing out have to do with math? Not much. How about using a simpler method? 3,998 is only 2 less than 4,000. So we can think 4,000 times 4 equals 16,000, minus the two groups of 4, 8, 15,992. Easier, smarter, elegant. Thinking like a mathematician. Einstein, the great mathematician and physicist, said, Never memorize something you can look up in a book. Well, memorizing a great poem, song, or quote like Einstein's may give you a lot of cognitive pleasure and is great when it comes to thinking like an artist, poet, or orator. But when it comes to thinking like a mathematician, the focus should be on logic, reason, finding patterns, and simple, elegant solutions. Want to learn your 9 times tables? Well, 9 is 1 less than 10. So if 10 times 4 is 40, 9 times 4 is 40, minus one group of 4 equals 36. Counting and grouping. Learning this way is not about using math tricks. There's nothing mysterious going on here. It's all about focusing on how math works and how to think like a mathematician. Start early, practice thinking this way a lot, develop your math muscles, and learn more about how we teach math as a way of thinking at the Toronto Heschel School. You'll see that it all adds up.